Today is the 5th of July 2023, and I want us to look at some foundational questions, okay, so that you can understand these very well. We've talked about them and I've explained some of them, but let's quickly look at some examples. Okay, now the first example I have for you here today is solve into brackets 10 times 5 minus a second bracket 3 times 7. So straight away you should be thinking about BODMAS or BIDMAS. We said the O in BODMAS is off and the I is indices. Okay, so if you look at the question here, you have brackets, 2 brackets. So it means if you are going by BODMAS, you need to solve the bracket part first. So let's have a look. Okay, 10 times 5 is 50. 3 times 7 is 21. Now between these two brackets there is a minus sign. So now after you've done the bracket, all you have left is the minus sign. 50 minus 21 is 29. So that will be your answer here. If you start solving 10 times 5 minus 3 times 7, you are going to get a different answer. Don't do that. When you see this kind of questions, you should straight away start thinking of BODMAS, as we discussed in one of our videos. Okay. Now the second one also here is similar to what we've done, but it has more mathematical symbols. So let's have a look. 5 times into bracket 4 minus 2 divided by into bracket 4 times 2 minus 1. Okay, now look at BODMAS again. The first thing you should be thinking of is the brackets. If you are not familiar with it and you see a question like this, just write on the side BODMAS. B for brackets, O for off or I for indices, D for division, M for multiplication, A for addition, S for subtraction. So now we need to look at the bracket first. So here this bracket is 4 minus 2, which is a 2. So you have 5 times 2 here. You put it there. Okay. Then you bring your division sign. But there's another bracket here which you should solve before you look at the whole thing. Let's look at here 4 times 2 minus 1. By BODMAS, you should do the multiplication first before the subtraction. Okay, so we are quickly going to do if you do the subtraction before the multiplication, you will here get a different answer. Okay, so 4 times 2 is 8 minus 1 there. So now we have 10 times 2, okay, divided by 8 minus 1, which is a 7. So now 10 divided by 7 equals, in a fraction form, this is how it will look like, 10 over 7. Now this is a top-heavy fraction. If they ask you to leave, or if they don't say anything, you can leave your answer this way, or you can go a step further and reduce it to mixed fractions. Okay, it just shows the examiner that you know what you are doing. But if they ask you to leave your answer in a mixed fraction, well, then you have to do that. If they ask you to leave your answer in a decimal and it's a calculator paper, then you put 10 divided by 7. Okay, and the calculator will give you some figures. It will give you 1 point something, and then they may say to one decimal number or to one significant figure or whatever. Okay, these questions always come. But if not, and for the sake of time, this answer is right, this answer is right. Okay, so don't look for too much work for yourself. If they've not asked you to do something, just put it in the simplest form. It's top heavy, but this is the simplest form, or in this form, and then get on with the next question. Now this is also another question, so straight away it's a BODMAS question, but bracket first. So we are going to do the bracket, even though division has it comes before addition, but because we need to prioritize the bracket, we need to solve this first. If we do 3 divided by 2 add 7, we would get a different answer. But this question is asking us to do the bracket first. Okay, so 10 add 3, 7 add 3 is 10. Okay, divided by 2, which is 5. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So these are the answers. 5. Okay, now ordering numbers. I remember in one of the videos we looked at ordering decimal numbers. Okay, now ordering whole numbers. They might give you numbers with the same 4 digits and ask you to order them. Okay, they might do that just to see how you are able to do some of these. Okay, so they might give you numbers to order them so that they will see how good you are. So now look at the numbers. They've given you 4 numbers. Okay, I think they've just swapped them around. So 6074, 7064, 6407, 6470, 4670. Now you need to order them from the smallest number first. So look at it. This is 6. If you use the place value, okay, the fourth is 6. So that's 6,000. That is 7,000. That is 6,000 again. That is 6,000, and that's 4,000. So clearly, this is the smallest. So you can see I've written 1. So this smallest come here, 4670. Now place value again, 6,000, 6,000, 6,000. Now let's look at the hundreds. That is a 0, a 0, that is a 4, and that is a 4. So our second one, okay, the one in the 100, that is 0, will be our second one. So our second one is 6074. So 6074. Now we have 6, 4, 6, 4. Let's look at the 10. This 10 is 0 and this 10 is 7. So, of course, this will be the third one. 6, 4, 7, 0. So, I've written 3 there. So, 6, 4, 7, 0. Now, the fourth one will be, that is the last of the 6,000. 6, 4, 7, 0. So, this is 6407. So 6407 followed by 6470. And then the last one, which is 7,000, is the fifth one. So 7064. So we've done our ordering from zero, the smallest, to the largest using place value. So we have 4670, 6074, 6407, 6470, and 7064. Now let's do some work on nearest numbers. So look at this. 48 becomes 50 to the nearest 10, because 48 cannot be 40 because of the 8th unit value, because it's greater than 5. So 48 becomes 50 rounded to the nearest 100. Now 403 is 400 rounded to the nearest 100. Okay, 48 is 50 rounded to the nearest 10. Okay, the second one here is 403 or 404 or 401 is 400 rounded to the nearest 100. Okay, so if they ask me to round 403 to the nearest 100, okay, then my answer will be 400. But assuming they gave me 451 to the nearest 100, then my answer will be 500. I hope I'm clear on that. Now, 6004 is 6,000 rounded to the nearest 1,000. Okay, so 4 here is less than 5. Okay, so 6,004, but assuming they gave me 6,551 or 6,501 to the nearest 1,000, that will become 7,000. Okay, 65 is 70, the smallest is 70, the smallest number rounded to the 10. So for instance, 65 is equal to 5, or it can be greater. So if I round it off to the nearest 10, it becomes 70. But if it's 64, the smallest number rounded to the nearest 10, that would be 660. Okay, now 249 is 200, the largest number rounded to the next 100. So if it were 251, then that would be 300. But 249 is the largest number that I can round it off to the nearest 100. I hope I'm making some sense. These questions always come. Okay, so if you are doing GCSE, you will get them. So it's good you get familiar with them, because it will be a sub question or something. So you need to. That's why I'm stressing it, because if we start solving questions, it will be there. Now let's look at this decimal. 3.6784621 is 3.7 one decimal place. So one decimal place, this is where we draw the line. But 7 here is greater than 5. So it becomes 3.67 here to one decimal place. So we've reduced this whole number to 3.7 one decimal place. Assuming you are working with a non-calculator paper and you have to double this or triple this, it's easier to work in a one decimal place than to work with all this. Okay, even if it's a calculator paper, you might end up not putting all the digits in, and then you may end up getting it wrong. Okay, because at times numbers can muddle you up. Okay, now this same decimal to the nearest 2 decimal place. So after the decimal, I need 2 numbers. So 1, 2, that is my cutoff line. But the next number here is 8, so which is greater than 5. So I'll round it up. So I'll get 3.678. So that is where 3.678. So that is why I have 3.68 to 2 decimal places. Now, assuming we are leaving it in 3 decimal places, after the decimal point 1, 2, 3, that will be my cutoff. But the next number is 4, which is less than 5. So straight away, my answer will be 3.678. So I have it here, 3.678 to 3 decimal places. I hope we understand that. Okay, so quickly, let me just look at another thing here, significant figures, and we'll round off for today. So the examples I have here on significant figures, let's have a look. 77 to one significant figure is 80, because 8 is the only significant figure. 0 is not in here. So now we round 77 off to the nearest 10 and we get 80. Okay, if you write 77, that will be 2 significant figures, but they are asking us to put it in one significant figure. So our answer will be 80. Okay, nearest 10. 358 to one significant figure. Again, this is 3 significant figures, 358. But we need to put it into one significant figure. And the 58 here is greater than 50. Okay, so now we have to round it off to the nearest 100, because if we write 360, that will be 2 significant figures, but we only want one significant figure. So the answer will be 400. So we write it up to the nearest 100. 358 again to 2 significant figures is 260, as I've just said. So look at it, the 8 is greater than 5. So we have 360. It's 360, pardon me, not 2, 360. So we have 360. Okay, so now to the nearest 10. 4.8 to one significant figure. Now this is two significant figures, even though it's in a decimal form. So this 8.8, or the 8 here, is greater than 5. So we round it up and our answer becomes 5, or the nearest whole number. Okay, so these are a few questions we are looking at, which can gain you a mark or two in your final exam. So we just wanted to have a look at it, and we've discussed them anyway, but these are things that students are always muddled, and it confuses students. So I thought before we move forward, let's just recap on this. Okay, so hope I've made some sense for you today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson.